morning. Luke 2, 5 and 6 says, "To be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered." Tiny Bethlehem was churning with activity. The town was unequipped for the sojourning masses. Travelers were exhausted, villagers were irritated, and with the Romans milling through the chaos, everyone was on edge. Joseph waited in the line to register his name and family. He debated whether he would prefer taxation for the rest of his life or a life cut short by military service. Why else would Caesar want to measure his dominion? Suddenly Mary whimpered. He'd been so engrossed in his musing that he hadn't even noticed her pale complexion. "Mary?" He laid his hand on hers, still gripping the mane. Her hand was cold and trembling. "Joseph, I think the baby's coming." Joseph felt the blood drain from his face. "Are you sure?" "No, but it hurts." Joseph immediately stepped out of line and led the donkey away from the crowd. It was too much for her. "We should have stayed with Zachariah and Elizabeth to rest for a day or more." Joseph looked up and down the street for a guest house. With the sun settling, there was another line forming just a few houses away. "That's it." He walked beside the donkey with one hand on Mary and the other urging the donkey forward. Her eyes were pressed tight, and under her shawl, tiny beads of sweat formed on her forehead. Joseph was scared. There was no time to wait in another line. Tradition would keep him from calling out to the patron of the guest house, but fright and urgency trumped tradition. "Do you have a room?" he called out. Everyone in line turned to look at him. Mary's condition was urgent and obvious. The man shook his head, and Mary began to cry. "Oh God, deliver your servant." It's not much fun to think about the emergencies God allows. We'd much rather think of him as the God who prevents emergencies, and he does. And near misses, the misdiagnosis, the perfect timing. But he is also undeniably the God who allows emergencies. He allows his children to wander and cry. Why? Perhaps it's because the wandering turns our face towards him, and the crying brings us to his shoulders. Evidence that he is our caring Father, who is nearby even in our emergencies. Dear Lord, you are not surprised by urgent needs. There's no emergency that catches you off guard. You have already been to the place you provide, vacating the stable, clearing out the manger, pointing the way to the entrance, covering our urgent cries for grace. Amen. Thanks for listening this morning, and have a blessed day.